Hey guys, so I'm talking to you today about church attendance because here's what I am finding. Whenever I come upon something where someone's like, well, church is gone, nobody's going to church anymore, I do believe that as a lie of the enemy, that he is planting in people's minds so that they don't attend church because it's not what everybody's doing and it's not cool. And I'm here to tell you that the enemy wants you to be isolated. There is a saying that we have in recovery: your disease wants to get you alone and kill you. Have you ever struggled with overdoing something, eating too much, drinking too much? Have you ever noticed how isolated you get? You can even get isolated having dinner with other people or being in a bar. I mean, there are ways that the enemy likes to isolate you and make you feel like you can't walk into a church and find the love of Jesus and make you think that he's the same as he was in the religion you grew up with. So it's no surprise that church attendance is so down, especially for the next generation. But of course, I believe the news media loves to make it a bigger issue. The Hill has an article from Gallup poll this June that says the whole thing on top: church attendance below pre-pandemic levels. The one researcher that I study is Barna. His last study, 2019, church dropouts have risen to 64%. And it's interesting, he had a book called, David Kinnaman runs it, and he had a book called You Lost Me, and I've read that. It was published in 2011. He said, people were shocked to learn that 59% of young adults with a Christian background had dropped out of church at some point during their 20s, many for just a time, but some for good. No kidding. Nobody pursues these 20-somethings. That's why I'm so passionate about them. 8 years later, research for Kinnaman's new book, Faith for Exiles: 5 Ways for a New Generation to Follow Jesus in Digital Babylon, reveals that the church dropout problem is still a problem. In fact, the percentage of young adult dropouts has increased from 59 to 64%. Nearly 2/3 of U.S. 18 to 29-year-olds who grew up in church tell Barna they have withdrawn from church involvement as an adult after having been active as a child or teen. Yes, there's a lot more to this study. I suggest you check out Barna research, but the point isn't, oh, okay, well, nobody's going, then I shouldn't go. The point is, I see that and it tells me, number one, yep, that's why it's all about relationship. That's why you need to be saved by Jesus to know what it means to be in community with other people who follow Jesus, to be in a church community, to be with people that understand how difficult it can be, and to listen to a sermon where someone is preaching from the Word of God, not from the ideals of this world today. I'm going to read you Hebrews 10:24-25 from the New Living Translation. It says, let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. Isn't that interesting? Especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. How many times have you heard people talking about that, oh, it's the end of the world, or Jesus is coming? Yes, Jesus is coming back, and there's some crazy stuff happening in the world that is showing that it could happen any day. I don't know when, and I'm glad I don't, but we have to make the most of the life we are living. It's not about getting into heaven. It's about sharing the gospel with people today who don't realize how important it is to be saved, to have the power of God in your life. You need to realize that God can carry your burdens. People think that God doesn't care. People don't stay in churches because somebody didn't care for them, who didn't represent Jesus, so they don't go back to a church because they don't believe that Jesus is loving, and it's so not true. It is not who he is. And you need to be in it, even if it's not cool. Get up on a Sunday morning and show up to a church. Yeah, I know it's not cool. But you know what? You walk in there, you tell me. I walk into a church and I hear worship music and I'm surrounded by people that I know have been through difficult things as well, who are seeking the Lord, and it is powerful. I'm talking this week about 5 reasons you need community to get spiritually fit. Being in community, being in a church where you are seeking the Lord, that is part of how you get spiritually fit. You can't get spiritually fit on your own. You need other believers. You need to come together to encourage each other, to be in worship, to listen to the word preached, You need all these things. You also need to be aware. 1 Peter 5, 8 through 9. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. Other believers are going through tough things too. I don't know who made you believe that we all think that we have these perfect lives because we have Jesus, but they're wrong. We are stronger because we have Jesus, but we do not have perfect lives. We walk together as a family of believers so we can walk through the sufferings and so God can strengthen us as we suffer. But you know what? It's still a pretty awesome life. My life is so much better with Jesus in it. I can't imagine what it would be like without him, especially now. I think I would just be in total fear. And I don't believe he wants you to be in complete fear. So listen this week as I give you five reasons why you need community to get spiritually fit. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.